Thank you for tuning in and welcome to Errant painting. Today I want to paint up this Pox Bringer, Herald of Nurgle. And if you've already seen my other Nurgle Daemon painting videos, there will be quite a few of the steps that are familiar, but there will also be some new steps and some colors that I haven't used in the previous videos. But first of all, I want to take some Estonian camo shade and paint it all over, except for the base and the sword and the big bell. But if I hit these, I won't bother too much, they'll be covered later. So a nice rough base coat of Estonian camo shade. I used a hairdryer to dry the first coat, and I should probably also mention that the model was primed with Corax white spray, which is a great undercoat for this technique. Now I'm gonna give him a second coat of Estonian camo shade, but this time just on the Pox Bringer himself, not on the nurgling, the hanging head, or well, I might hit the horns a bit, but I'm not aiming for it. Next, I'm gonna hit the nurgling with a coat of Severum Sabia. Next, I'm gonna give the severed head some Reichland flesh shade. Next up, some Agrax earth shade, and this is for the horns. This will take a few coats to get the right color. And we're ready for another coat. And a third coat. Next up, another quite messy part. I'm gonna take some typhus corrosion, and this is for his plague sword. And for this I'm using an old beat up brush that I really don't care about. It's still not covering completely, so I'm gonna put an extra bit of typhus corrosion on the blade, this time just focusing on, yeah, where the first layer didn't cover. Next up, I'm gonna take some Risa Rust and dry brush the sword. With the sword done, it's time to get some highlights on the skin, and I'm gonna start with the skin of the Pox Bringer, and for that I'll use some nurgling green. Next, I'm gonna highlight the skin of the nurgling using Krieg Kagi. Next, I'm gonna add some Cornbrook Crimson, and this is for the open wounds, the guts, places where the skin is fractured, and also on the butts of the Pox Bringer and the nurgling. Next up, I want to paint his tongue, and for that I'm taking some purple ink. This is the old Citadel purple ink. You can't get that anymore, but lots of companies make inks. And I'm gonna blend it with the color lilac towards the tip to give a nice highlight. And it's really easy to wet blend using inks and edge paints. Next up, I'm gonna pick out all the boils on the Nurgling and the Pox Bringer, and for this I'm using orange brown from Vallejo model color. Next up, I'm gonna paint a small dot of flesh sketch yellow inside the boils. Next, I'm gonna paint the bells with brassy brass from Vallejo game color. Next up, I'm gonna take some sandry dust and paint the base. Next, I'm gonna wash over the base and the bells with Acrylic Surshade. Next, I'm gonna paint the claws and the teeth using Ushabti Bone. Next, I'm gonna paint the eyes and the stitches on the severed head using Pallid Witch Flesh. I've done a little cleanup around the eyes with some Nurgling Green. It's really hard to hit the eyes with the camera between me and the model. But now I'm gonna take some model color black, any black will do. And this is for the hair of the severed head and a pupil in the Pox Bringer's eye. And with that, it's time to wash over the teeth, the claws, and the eyes and the stitches using Sepharim Sabia. I don't know why that is so hard for me to pronounce. Now I'm gonna dry brush the base using Saminatsu Stone. Next, I'm gonna highlight the hair of the severed head using a bit of the Pallid Witch Flesh, blended in with some of the black already on my palette, making a nice gray. Next up, I'm gonna take some Caliban Green and paint the puddle on the front, in the front of the Pox Bringer. And then I'm gonna take some dried bark and paint the base trim. And after that, I'm gonna give the model a coat of Vallejo matte varnish. Now that he's been varnished, it's time to have some gloss effects. And for this, I'll start with a bit of art coat, and this is just for his eye. Next, I'm gonna take some blood for the blood god, and this is for the revealed intestines. With that done, I'll take some Nurgle's Rot, and this is for all the boils and the pool on the base, and the pool will get 3 to 5 layers. And he's done. I'm really happy with him, especially considering how quick he was to paint up, and he goes well with the rest of the demon army, so that's a good thing. I'm happy with the way the tongue came out. I don't know how well it translates to the camera, but I think the transition from dark to light looks really neat. So yeah, let me know below if you liked this video, and if you want to see more Nurgle painting videos. Until next time, take care and bye bye.